especially for those who have newborns, right? You find a child waking up at 2 every day, consistently, or waking up at 3 or at 4. In that time, this child is telling you, this is my watch time. As a baby, when they wake up, don't try to feed them. Pray with them, and you realize they'll stop crying while you're praying, and once their prayer time is done, they fall asleep.
Raising tomorrow with love in our hands, guiding young hearts as they grow and they stand.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Raising Tomorrow, the Smart Parenting Hub, where we share brilliant ideas, we share just thoughts and opinions, practical ways in which you and every other person can raise their children according to God's original design. For those of you who are stopping by for the first time, my name is Lucy Nane and I am your host. In this video, I want to talk about 10 things every parent needs to know about their child, whether they already have the child or they're preparing to raise a child, or they're considering having a child in the near future. Number one is knowing who your child is. Who did God create this little human being to be? Are they a nurse? Are they a carpenter? Are they a teacher? Are they a doctor? Are they a pilot, prophet, pastor? Who is this human being that you are about to raise or you're about to bring into the world? Number two, you want to know what the assignments on your child's life are. When you have an idea of what this child has as assignment, you start to raise them, you start to train them, you start to teach them in a way that prepares a good foundation for what is to come. You know, if your child is going to be a doctor, it's not just about teaching them medicine, but you want to start teaching them compassion. You want to start training them in the area of being attentive, you know, to be detail oriented. You want to ask them questions to see how they comprehend, how quickly their brain can work, so that you are preparing them for exactly what's to come, because those are some of the tools that they're going to need to be a successful doctor. Number three thing that you need to know about the child you're about to have is, how does this child respond to the environment? What do they like? What do they dislike? Is this child wanting to just integrate? Is this child shying away because they are not comfy with their environment? That is very important for every parent to know, because it's going to determine who their child becomes in the future. Imagine you raising a child who is supposed to be on the media and they are being afflicted by a spirit of shyness. And you take it like, oh, they're just being a child, they're just being quiet. And then it becomes a struggle for when they're about to enter officially into the career. So we have to help these children, prepare them for who they become tomorrow. The next thing that I want us to talk about today is, you want to be able to know some of the things that are in your bloodline that you do not want your child to be a part of. Some families carry anti-marriage spirits. Some families have spirits of lie-selling, spirits of deceit, spirit of anger, and a whole lot of things that children typically portray, and it gets ignored because, oh, they're just a child. They're into terrible tools. They're just throwing a tantrum. No. Those are spirits trying to find expressions through your child, and if ignored, they're going to grow older with it, and when they start manifesting, you start saying, oh, where did this come from? You know, it's a whole lot to deal with in an older age. The next thing you want to know about your child before you have them, or if it's a child that you already have, is their triggers. You want to know what triggers this child. You want to know what pushes them into happy emotions or what will push them to anger, and start training them to control their emotions and manage themselves, right? Now the next thing, I don't know, I lost count somehow. I know this video is supposed to be about 10 things that every parent needs to know about their child before or while they're raising the child, before they have the child. The next thing you want to know is the kind of nutrition that works for the blood type of your child. Now I know God created everything, He made it beautiful, He said go in and consume, but you need to know what will work for your child's body. You need to know what kind of foods you need to put in. You know, some people are actually blessed to where their kids want to eat vegetables and they think, oh, the child is not eating enough, and they're interfering with the process of God wanting to train this child in the area of fasting. So you need to know if your child is going to be someone who fasts a lot and God wants to start preparing them from when they're a child, so that you do not interfere with that process. The next thing you also want to know about your child is the speed with which they comprehend, their learning style, their coping mechanisms, right? You want to have this information so that you avoid stressing the child if the child needs more patience or if the child needs different styles of comprehension. It is very important because a lot of parents get frustrated because they're comparing their child to someone else's child. That child has different assignments. They have a different way that they're supposed to be raised. They are sharper, not because they're better than your child, but because God needs them to work this fast because of what they have to do in the future. Now your child may be in a more slower paced, calmer environment because God wants to build that patience in them, that compassion to be able to wait on people, to be able to bring God's revelation of His patience to the people assigned to that child. Now let's move on to point number 7, which every parent needs to know about their child as they are raising this child or as they prepare to raise a child or children, is you need to understand the character weaknesses of your child. The reason why this is important is because the enemy always attacks where we are weak. He does not attack strengths. So you want to know these weaknesses so that you begin to mold that child to be able to do better with them or just pour more into those areas. That way you can prevent them from future attacks from the enemy. Point number 8. What should you know about your child, which is very relevant in the process of raising them? You want to know what their assigned watch hour is. Now this is something that a lot of people don't even think is important, or some people take it for granted. You want to know what the ordained time for that child to meet with God is, especially for those who have newborns, right? You find a child waking up at 2 every day, consistently, or waking up at 3 or at 4. In that time, this child is telling you, this is my watch time. As a baby, when they wake up, don't try to feed them. Pray with them, and you realize they'll stop crying while you're praying, and once their prayer time is done, they fall asleep. Now, some other time when God allows me to, I'm going to share just about all of the activities that go on with a newborn, how God is downloading stuff into them, how they're showing you exactly who they are. And every child literally shows you character traits, little bits and pieces. You know, a child is refusing to eat and you're stressing, but they're not losing weight. God is trying to train that child in fasting. But if you do not have this information, you'll be stressed, you have sleepless night, you think, okay, what is going on with this child? But if you knew that this is an assigned time for them to pray, then you won't be surprised at your baby waking up at 3 in the morning. I know there's someone watching this video, your child has been waking up at odd hours in the night, and you're worrying like, okay, why is this child doing this? For some other people, children are very sensitive to the spirit realm, right? Which means they could be waking up because there's something off about the atmosphere, about the environment. So if you as a parent, you have this knowledge, if you're staying in the place of prayer, God is going to reveal these things to you, and you know how to channel your prayers accordingly. Point number 9, oh my goodness, we're almost to the end of this video. The ninth thing every parent wants to know about their child as they are raising them is the different people your child easily gets influenced by. It could reveal one of two things: what they are attracted to, or what could easily hurt them. So you want to know who your child is attracted to, the things that pull their attention, who has influence on your child, so that you may begin to set the necessary boundaries. You may begin to raise this child in a way where they are not just focused on, okay, I want to be like this friend of mine, I want to have what this friend has and all of that, but you're able to mold them in a way that they become their own person, they become strong emotionally, they have healthy boundaries and just their own way of thinking. The last but not the least thing we want to cover today in this video as to what every parent needs to know about a child they're raising is how God wants to partner with you to raise this child. Now, there's a reason why you want to partner with God 100%, because He knows this child better than you do. Everything about the child was written before even you as the parent were formed in your mother's womb. So you want to know how to partner with your child. You want to know how to partner with the Lord to raise your child according to His ways, according to His commandments. And this is actually going to be less stressful for you. It's going to bring less stress to your home, less stress to your life, because it will be like you getting the blueprint or a little manual to work with the person who is meant to carry the next generation. Now, children are not just a gift for a season. They are not just a burden for a time. They are the people who carry the next generation, and they bring forth the next set of things that God is ready to release into the earth. That said, I hope all of this information was very helpful to you. Please let me know if you have any other questions, or if there's something that I missed, drop it in the comment section. I appreciate you watching all the way to the end of this video. And like I would always want to think, raising a child is not a responsibility for one person. We are the community that your child needs. Therefore, you should share, like, comment on this video, share your thoughts, share your insights, send it to a friend, send it to a family member. And just before we leave, you have been watching Raising Tomorrow. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.